Tonight on Newswatch, Governor Mike DeWine is doubling down on his opposition to a Supreme Court ruling impacting Haitian immigrants.
Plus, in Washington, the Supreme Court rules in favor of the Trump administration in a case targeting federal officials.
And recovery efforts are underway in Venezuela after an earthquake left 1,000 people dead. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Jenna Bolton.
And I'm Natalie LaFleur. Welcome to Newswatch. Well, I have to say this warm weather is certainly throwing me for a loop.
I have to agree with you, Natalie. Here's to tell us if these temperatures are here to stay is our forecaster, Calvin Stebbins.
Yeah, guys, we're going to expect these warmer temperatures throughout the rest of the week. We're going to see our heat indexes stretching anywhere from 100 to 105. So heading into tomorrow, we're going to see this heat advisory start to be in effect at around 11 a.m. and that'll be lasting until 10 p.m. Friday evening. So again, I'll break this down a little bit in my full weather. This morning, we woke up with those mid to upper 60s and even crossing 70s here in Athens. So it was a little bit of a warmer morning here. Now, over the past few hours, with the help of daytime heating, we jumped right back up into those mid to upper 80s. Even just taking a look around the area just south of I-70, 87 in Zanesville and 90 in Lancaster, then through the Ohio River Valley, 91 in Huntington and 88 in Parkersburg. Currently, though, here in Athens, we're sitting at around 88 degrees with mostly clear skies and that heat index up to 94 degrees. Jumping in through tonight, we'll see that overnight low of 73 with partly cloudy skies, and then heading into tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, high of 95, and those heat index up to those triple digits with that overnight low of 75. I'm going to send it back to Natalie and Jenna at the desk.
Thank you, Calvin. A bear has been spotted roaming around Athens County. The bear was most recently spotted on the west side of Athens. The reports come after a bear was seen in Stroud State Park. Community groups are recommending that people make sure to secure all food sources, including garbage, pet bowls, and bird feeders. They also say if you see the bear, do not attempt to approach or feed it, and to give the bear space and a way to escape. A doctor in Belpre is suing the city after he was arrested for trespassing in his own home. Dr. Eric Fried's arrest stems from a tenant-landlord arrangement, something Fried argues never existed. The Washington County doctor let two people live in his house while it was being renovated. The pair made calls to the police after Fried asked them to leave the house because they were smoking weed. Fried alleges the officers had no right to arrest him over what he describes as a civil matter. He also claims the arrest caused emotional distress and reputational harm.
A massive animal neglect case is unfolding in Muskingum County. Authorities seized 103 neglected animals from a Norwich Township home during a multi-agency rescue operation. The rescued animals include dogs, chickens, cats, and exotic birds, all living in unfit conditions. Investigators also discovered 6 deceased animals hidden inside of a freezer. The Licking County Humane Society took in 42 of the dogs, pushing their facility to maximum capacity. Criminal charges are currently pending.
Governor Mike DeWine is doubling down on his claim that the Supreme Court's decision to end temporary protected status for Haitian immigrants is a, quote, mistake. The court's ruling directly impacts the over 10,000 Haitian immigrants that live and work in the state.
Well, I think it's a mistake for a number of reasons. It is clearly not safe. Anybody who has followed Haiti over a long, extended period of time knows that it's worse than it has, frankly, ever been, certainly in recent memory. But the other point is it is not in the United States' interest, certainly not in Ohio's interest, to have people who are working every single day, who are supporting a family, who are buying houses, fixing up old houses, starting businesses, and then put deep roots in this country and really are contributing and yank them out.
The U.S. Supreme Court is ruling that states can count ballots that arrive after Election Day. The decision rejects a Republican-led challenge to late-arriving mail ballots. More than a dozen states allow certain ballots to be counted after Election Day if they meet state deadlines. President Trump and many Republicans have repeatedly argued that lengthy vote counts are evidence of cheating. However, the High Court disagreed, with Chief Justice John Roberts and Justice Amy Coney Barrett siding with the three liberals in the majority. Another ruling from the Supreme Court is giving President Trump more power to fire federal officials. In a 6-3 opinion, the court said the president has the power to fire a member of the Federal Trade Commission. The ruling is a substantial win for Trump's efforts to consolidate power within the executive branch. The decision will also have major implications for parts of the government that Congress intended to keep independent from presidential politics. The Supreme Court justices are expected to deliver 4 more rulings tomorrow. Among them is a decision on transgender sports bans. The High Court will rule on laws in Idaho and West Virginia that bar transgender girls from competing on girls' sports teams. The court will also issue its decision on birthright citizenship. The case stems from President Donald Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship for babies born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants. Justices are wrapping up their current term after issuing a string of legal opinions earlier today.
A senior Trump administration official says the U.S. will commit $300 million to Venezuela earthquake rescue and recovery efforts. Aside from money, the U.S. has hundreds of search and rescue personnel on the ground and hundreds of military members assisting with relief efforts. Several U.S. field hospitals are up and running, with additional ones expected to be functional in the coming days. There are tens of thousands of people still missing. Speaker Mike Johnson officially sent the historic 21st Century Road to Housing Act to the president's desk. Trump now has 10 days to decide if he will sign the bill into law or veto it. But if he takes no action, it will automatically become law. Last week, the president caught both House and Senate leaders off guard when he suddenly refused to sign the housing bill until the Save America Act is passed by Congress. The act is a voter ID and proof of citizenship package. GOP leaders have told Trump that there is no path to pass the Save America Act. The housing bill aims to tackle America's affordability crisis primarily through encouraging more housing supply. Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz has ticked up over the past 36 hours. That's according to ship tracking data, which showed a number of larger tankers using a more southern route close to the Omani coast. Ship traffic, however, is still a far cry from pre-war levels. The U.S. and Iran exchanged fire multiple times over the weekend, leading to a sharp drop in traffic through the strait. But a U.S. official says the two countries later agreed to stand down for now. President Trump on social media announced the U.S. and Iran will meet in Qatar tomorrow.
Coming up, how a blistering heat wave could impact your 4th of July plans.
And as temperatures rise, gas prices are cooling down. Find out why after the break.
We are all falling into stay tuned to see my full weather.
When the Declaration of Independence is authored, Black people fought for their inclusion in the country, even at times when the country wouldn't necessarily want them there.
The stories of Harry Washington, James Lafayette, Mumbet, Peyton Skipwith were representative of Black embrace of revolutionary ideals and action about that.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
The American Revolution is about to escalate. For the first time, revolutionaries are striking at Britain itself. I'd like to dig into the details.
It was the closest we came to an anarchy.
He was a fantastically placed spy, living with Ben Franklin.
I'm going to follow new clues.
They believe there's a team of saboteurs at work.
To get closer to the truth. This was dynamite.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
This Independence Weekend, join me, Alfonso Ribeiro, as we kick off our country's 250th birthday weekend with a Capitol 4. Live from the U.S. Capitol building with Chicago, Trace Adkins, Patti LaBelle, Kool and the Gang, Alan Jackson, members of Team USA, the Artemis II crew, and fireworks live from George Washington's Mount Vernon. It's a Capitol 4th 250th weekend celebration.
Friday at 8 on WOUB. For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
As Americans prepare to celebrate the 4th of July, an oppressive heat wave is set to hover over the eastern portion of the country.
Holiday traditions have already been disrupted amid fires in the west. Now, the threat of blistering heat could impact holiday plans for many in the northeast. Maddie Gannon reports.
Millions of Americans Monday are bracing for a scorching week, as days of blistering heat and humidity are expected to fall over the eastern half of the U.S. and stick around for the holiday weekend.
We have an extreme heat warning that we've issued that goes into effect today. We have 3 consecutive days where it reaches 100 to 105 or potentially greater. The heat index value overnight will probably only dip below the 90-degree mark for 6 to maybe 8 hours overnight.
Major cities like New York, Washington, Atlanta, and Nashville could see feels-like temperatures at and above 100 degrees starting Monday through the 4th of July. Officials are urging caution as people prepare for a weekend of celebrations outdoors, where they could be exposed to the dangerous heat for longer periods of time.
Self-awareness is huge when it comes to knowing when to call 911 or not. If you don't feel comfortable getting yourself up to a hospital, by all means, we're here to serve the community, so call us.
Meanwhile, authorities in several western states have banned or limited fireworks for the holiday due to ongoing wildfires. This man in the Lake County, Colorado area described watching a fire blaze from across a lake.
We figured we'd pack up, and then we got a text, emergency evacuation, so yeah, we are packed up. Less than an hour later, fastest pack up ever.
In Washington, I'm Maddie Gannon.
Well, I could definitely already feel the heat starting up already today. It's only Monday. Walking outside this morning, I was definitely sweating.
Oh, absolutely, me too. And it's like a 5-minute walk to work for me. I was already dripping sweat.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is kind of the coldest day of the week, so-called. We're going to be in those mid-90s today, but we're expecting those triple digits as the week continues into the weekend. So a very warm week ahead of us is expected. So just taking a look at our watches and warnings map just around the state, we are going to see this heat advisory go into effect around 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. That will be lasting until 10 p.m. Friday night. So we're going to see those heat indexes stretching anywhere from 100 to 105 degrees throughout the week during those afternoon hours. So with that, we're going to start to see that chance of heat-related illnesses starting to be on the increase. So we're going to talk about some heat safety tips. So throughout the week, you want to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. You're staying hydrated, whether right before you go outside. And then when you are outside, and if you are planning on doing any housework make sure you're doing that in the early morning hours or those later evening hours. And you want to limit your time outside and give yourself plenty of breaks. Then you want to check yourself and others for any signs or symptoms of any of those heat-related illnesses. So you might be asking yourself, why is this all happening? We're going to have a very strong region of high pressure from the south just moving itself off to the north. That's going to mix in with a lot of upper level ridging. So we're going to see a lot of warm air from the south continuing to get dragged up to the north. And with that high pressure, it's going to act almost like a heat dome across the region. So it's trapping a lot of warm air at the surface, and we're not going to see that much cloud formation throughout the week, and there's no rain risk. So that's going to continue day by day. We're going to continuously see our temperatures on the rise. Now, taking a look at around 7 p.m. tomorrow, we're expecting those heat indexes across the valley anywhere from those upper 90s into those triple digits. So a very warm day ahead of us tomorrow, but that Thursday is looking like the hottest day of the week. Now, just taking a look at our surface analysis map just around the country, we did have a little bit of a surface low formed last night, which brought some morning showers today. That has since dissipated as we've seen some high pressure from the south get dragged up to the north. We're going to also see this warm sector get dragged up to the north as that upper level ridging occurs. Currently, though, here in Athens, we're sitting at around 88 degrees with mostly clear skies. That heat index is sitting at 94 right now. Heading in through tonight, though, We see that overnight low of 73 with partly cloudy skies, and around the hours from 4 a.m. to 7, we're going to see some fog rolling in. It is going to be patchy, but for any early morning commutes, make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get to your destination. Jumping in through tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies, high of 95, and that heat index taking it up to those triple-digit ranges with that overnight low of 75, so we're not even getting really that much of a relief from the warmth. Taking a closer look at tomorrow, though, we're going to see this warm sector and high pressure continue to travel off to the northeast as that upper level ridging is continuing to occur. Taking a look at Wednesday, we're going to see a lot of high pressure just forming around the Ohio Valley region, and that's when that heat dome is going to start to intensify. Taking a look at our 7-day outlook, Tuesday through Thursday, we're going to be in those upper 90s heat indexes within those triple-digit ranges, but Friday through the weekend, we're going to see that chance of isolated showers with a little bit of a cool down.
Thank you, Calvin. Rideshare company Uber announced it's enacting stricter background checks for drivers. The company is expanding the list of criminal offenses that permanently disqualify someone from being a driver in the U.S. Uber will not allow people with prior convictions for violent felonies, sexual crimes, stalking, and strangulation to become drivers for the app. The stricter background checks also apply to couriers for Uber's delivery services. Uber is currently facing thousands of lawsuits from passengers who claim they were sexually assaulted during Uber rides.
Comcast is moving a step closer to selling its media businesses. Earlier today, the company announced that it's spinning off its media arm into a new publicly traded company. It would include NBC Universal and the European broadcaster Sky. The move will require the green light from regulators, but Comcast is hoping to finish the process in about a year. Shares of Comcast surged more than 20% after the announcement. If you're traveling for Independence Day, expect lots of traffic on the roads this week. AAA estimates more than 60 million people will drive to their destination between June 27th and Sunday, July 5th. But there is good news for drivers. As Jen Sullivan reports, gas prices are coming down.
The one-week countdown to July 4th has begun, and some Americans are already traveling for the big America 250 celebrations this year.
We, over the years, saw that people really either take off the entire week or they'll leave the weekend before.
AAA spokesperson Ike Sadia says more than 72 million Americans are expected to travel 50 miles or more between June 27th through July 5th. That would be a new record. Most travelers will drive, with nearly 62 million hitting the road. And there's good news when it comes to gas prices.
We are seeing some improvement there, and that might motivate some people who maybe weren't planning to take a road trip to jump in the car and do it.
As of Saturday, the national average for a gallon of regular gas was $3.88. Prices have dropped 58 cents in the last month, but they're still higher than a year ago, according to AAA.
Gasoline prices are dropping, and in the next 30 days, you're going to see them drop.
Tom Cloza with Gulf Oil says prices have dropped because more tankers carrying oil are starting to travel through the Strait of Hormuz.
It's open enough right now so that the next 30 or 40 days, I think you'll see a lot of oil and you'll see generally weak prices.
The Strait of Hormuz has seen more traffic in the last week than it has in the past 3 months. Since the war with Iran began, maritime traffic in the strait had essentially halted, disrupting oil production and sending gas prices soaring. It appeared the U.S. and Iran were close to finalizing a memorandum of understanding. But as tensions escalate with Iran again, there's fear traffic could halt again, which could cause gas prices to go up as millions of Americans get ready to travel this week. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Next, a change in Medicare coverage for weight loss drugs. What this means for enrollees.
To stay up to date on the latest news from around Southeast Ohio, be sure to follow WOUB on all social media platforms.
I think about what if I took a right turn instead of a left turn. I think I would have missed a lot.
Getting into heavy stuff.
This is Canvas, your regional events calendar. Discover more events at woub.org/culture.
There's much about me that you don't know. It's quite the adventure.
Shall we?
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Those for your mum.
I didn't want to turn up empty-handed.
Be careful. London is full of sinners and squalor.
Suspicious death on a train. Albi's in London. Could be honoured.
So it's murdered? What? How do you think that?
We should go over everyone's movements.
It isn't a parlour game, Vicar.
Boss, you worried about him?
Grantchester, on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
Staying healthy as you age starts when you're young, and experts say seeing a doctor at least once a year can help detect and even prevent long-term health problems.
Mandy Gaither has more on a troubling healthcare trend that doctors say they're seeing in young adults.
When you're sick, you go see a doctor, but experts say seeking healthcare when you're well is equally important.
It's easy to assume that we're in good health if nothing's happened just yet.
Dr. Zachary Bittinger with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center says physicians across the country are seeing a troubling trend. Many young adults don't have a primary care doctor, and he says many who do are skipping annual checkups.
For the otherwise well young person, it's easy for them to write off visits.
But Bittinger says annual checkups provide a baseline for future care. A doctor can check vital signs, measure height, weight, and blood pressure, listen to the heart and lungs, look at the mouth and ears, examine skin, feel lymph nodes, and check for swelling in the arms and legs. Based on that exam, blood tests can be ordered to check blood sugar and cholesterol, and a visit can help keep you up to date on routine vaccines.
Life is unexpected, and so if you start having chest discomfort, if you start having some joint pain, a lot of us can reach for urgent cares, maybe emergency rooms, but wouldn't it be nicer to have somebody that knows you, knows your history?
Bittinger says it's important for young adults to start investing in their health and to go through their health insurance company to find a doctor their policy covers who's close by so it's more convenient.
The reassuring thing from my perspective in primary care is that a vast majority of health insurance policies cover preventative visits 100%.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Medicare is set to start covering weight loss drugs this week. The temporary pilot program allows enrollees to get the medications for just $50 a month. The copay doesn't count toward out-of-pocket maximums or deductibles. Many doctors and patient advocates support the new program. However, the law technically prohibits Medicare from covering weight loss medications. But the pilot effort works around that because short-term demonstration projects are allowed.
New research says child safety features on major social media sites are not working as intended. That's according to a new study by the Cybersecurity Research Center, which looked at dozens of safety features on platforms like Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube. Results found that almost 60% of the time, child safety features either don't work or are just not being used. Snapchat, YouTube, and Instagram are disputing the study's findings, saying the study did not correspond to how kids or teens typically use those platforms.
The CDC is raising its response to the African Ebola outbreak to the highest level. Last week, the CDC said it was highly concerned about Ebola cases spreading across borders. However, the risk remains low in the U.S. The outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo is now the third largest on record, with more than 1,000 confirmed cases and nearly 300 deaths. The Department of Health and Human Services is delivering doses of an experimental antibody therapy to the DRC and Uganda. The agency is also preparing to send 2,500 rapid diagnostic tests to Africa.
You may want to check your cabinets. A series of supplemental vitamins are being recalled for potential salmonella risks. Brand Total Nutrition Incorporated is issuing a voluntary recall on their TN Vitamins 100% Organic Moringa capsules and 100% Organic Moringa powder. The company attributes the recall to possible salmonella exposure. However, no illnesses have been reported so far. The recalled products were sold online through major retailers including Amazon, Walmart, and Target.
Still ahead, an injured bald eagle is released back into the wild just in time for Independence Day.
Newswatch will return after the break. Until then, here's a look at what's coming up on your local television station.
Ohio in general is a very diverse grape growing region. The wines we produce are a little bit different.
I believe in this idea that grapes are a little bit different region by region. So I don't really see why we couldn't get a reputation for making a certain type of wine.
Passionworks was not designed, created, or maintained by people who studied disability. They're people who studied opportunity.
We're primarily known as one of only a few places in the country that are still making posters from hand-carved woodblock prints and set-type letterpress printing.
The word of mouth has spread, like some of the, myth of the pawpaw, I guess. We're blessed with pawpaws here in Appalachia.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
We're on the precipice of a great discovery. I love it.
Welcome! Whoa, Nellie! Let's set this palace on fire.
I love it.
Welcome to the News Hour.
What does it mean politically?
I love it. Oh.
Fasten your seatbelt.
I love it.
I love it.
Delighted to hear it. You make a good team.
Take a look, a rescued bald eagle flying free and disappearing into the wild. The bird was previously in the care of SPCA Monterey County in California after suffering a broken bone in December of last year. But finally, after 25 long weeks of care and rehabilitation, the bald eagle was released back into the wild, just in time for the country's 250th birthday celebration. Well, you couldn't really ask for a better timed story. I mean, our country's national bird being released just before America's birthday.
I agree. I'm thinking there's going to be some pretty cool fireworks this weekend since it is the 250th anniversary, like we keep saying. But Kelvin, do you think the skies are going to be clear for those fireworks on Saturday night?
Hopefully they are. I did see we do have that chance for some isolated showers and thunderstorms, but it'll be a bit on the warmer side of things, sitting in those lower 90s, but we should officially be out of that heat wave by then, hopefully. So just taking a look, we are going to be under this heat advisory tomorrow afternoon and through Friday evening. So we're expecting our heat index values anywhere from 100 degrees to 105, and some areas might see even hotter than that. We have had a very beautiful day here in Athens with not that much cloud cover as we've seen a lot of high pressure. We are going to see some clouds from the west continuing to travel into our region within these overnight hours though. Currently though, we're sitting at around 88 degrees with mostly clear skies. We have that heat index sitting at around 94 degrees, and then heading in through tonight, we see that overnight low of 73 with partly cloudy skies. And just taking a look at her tomorrow, we see mostly sunny skies, high of 95 with that overnight low of 75. And then just taking a look at her 7-day outlook, Tuesday through Thursday would be in those upper 90s with those heat indexes stretching anywhere from 100 to 105 degrees. But then Friday into the weekend, that chance of some isolated showers does return.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching.
Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.